Hello, family. God bless you. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. God bless you, everybody. We are live here from the Wisdom Center, and we are ready all the way from different countries in our love circle. Welcome to our International Church of Wisdom. My name is Pastor Anna Sweet, and I'm a follower of Jesus, Jesus of Nazareth. I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak to you today. Hello, Miss Cindy Anna. God bless you. Welcome, everybody. Liberia is here. Hello, Miss Julie. God bless you. I'm glad you are here with us today. Didn't Dr. Murdoch just give us a fabulous topic earlier on the subject of getting along with people? And I am thrilled that we get to be together today. Miss Diane, welcome. Hello, Miss Valusa. Tay or Tai, you, Popo 1. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Murdoch is going to be speaking to us. And I want us to get ready. If there's any other country, let us know, because Dr. Murdoch is ready. And we're going to be speaking to him shortly. God bless you. Well, Dr. Murdoch is ready, so I'm going to call him now. Please let us know where you are watching from as you can, so that we can update Dr. Murdoch.
Pastor Anna.
Hello, Dr. Murdoch. We are here. Your love circle is here. Everybody's joining and they're excited to hear your voice. We have Liberia and Canada so far, and we're excited to hear your voice, Dr. Murdoch.
What's the biggest thing on your mind today, Pastor Anna?
Oh, Dr. Murdoch, I learned so much about what you shared today of getting along with people. And I was thinking about how important it is to get along with the man of God that He has assigned to speak to our lives, into our lives, and be a receiver of authority. That's what was in my mind.
Today's teaching that we shared is rich
Yes.
beyond description. And getting along with people sounds simple at first, but it isn't at all, because you do not know what other people are wanting always, and you also are not working with the same kinds of people. People are not the same. Don't ever let anybody kid you. There was a big difference between David and his brothers, difference between Joseph and his brothers.
Yes.
There's a big difference between Vashti and Esther.
Yes.
There was a big difference between Cain and Abel. And I thought I would extend some more thoughts on that. The questions you want to ask yourself, you want to separate the person from the problem, if possible.
Yes.
A problem person in your life may be untrained, untaught, uninformed. A problem and a problem person is two different things. Two different things. And so some of the problems. I thought I would discuss some of the problems that you may have getting along with people. And the first thing to know in any environment when you're having a problem is who's in charge.
Yes.
Who is the leadership voice in this environment? Who's the established leadership voice in this environment? In my home, it was my father. He didn't talk a lot, but he had the leadership voice. My mother was the conversationalist, etc. But what my daddy said was final. We all called him boss. Hello, boss. And he said, one day he said, if I have to tell you I'm boss, I'm not.
Yes.
So the leadership voice must be established in any environment. The leadership voice. If you drive down the freeway and a police car pulls you over, he has a uniform, he has a gun, he has a car with red lights or whatever the lights are, and he's been established by the government, by the city, by the territory. He is the leadership voice in that situation. He's the leadership voice. So anytime there seems to be an issue, we start with who is the authorized leadership voice in this environment. In every environment, there is a voice authorized to change the rules. It's one of the most important wisdom keys the Holy Spirit ever gave me. We had landed in it's either Ghana or Lagos. It seemed like it was Lagos. There were several preachers had met us there. And at the airport, several things, but they wouldn't let us go. I stood over the side and let everybody handle the transactions. And they were stopped as they went out to go the rest of the airport. They were stopped by a uniformed officer. And he was tall and very commanding presence. And there was about 4 or 5 pastors and wives. And they were stopped, and they were trying to convince him they needed to go to the other part of the airport. And he stopped them. His arms were folded. Just a side note, body language is a very real, worthwhile study. To study body language of people. It's not always accurate, but you need to understand that people talk through silence, they talk through countenance, they talk through eyes, they talk through belligerence, they talk through defiance. Mouth is not the only way people converse. And he was defiant. He wouldn't let them go anywhere. So I slipped off the bench and I walked over there, across this probably maybe 150 feet. And I walked over there behind and came around behind him. And in every problematic situation, you're going to need bridge phrases, bridge words to get to clarity. You're going to have to ask some questions. You're going to have some conversation to establish clarity. And I says, is everything all right?
Yes.
And that's a good phrase, by the way.
Yes.
If you're going through customs and they look at you and they look like belligerent or whatever, you just says everything is, my paper's okay. Only fools become defiant with authority.
Yes.
Only fools. I want to say this with clarity in capital letters and neon signs from Las Vegas. only fools become belligerent with authority. And so I says, everything okay? He turned around with and he had a rough face. And as he turned around to address me, he recognized me for some reason and said, Mike Murdoch. And he smiled big and put his arm around me. I have your books. Oh. And I said, really? Yeah. And he says, these people with you? I said, yes, they're helping me get things going. Oh, and you would have thought he had two different bipolar natures. He changed instantly because of clarity, recognition, trust. Trust changes every relationship.
Yes.
Trust. Can I trust that you're who you say you are? Can I trust you to do the right thing? You spend every day of your life to establish trust. I don't know if I'd rather be living in a tent, impoverished, and be able to be trusted by people than to live in a palace and not be trusted.
Yes.
I'll fight for that. I'll give up anything to establish that. Side note, the first thing Satan tries to do is to establish distrust. It was the snake's effort in the garden to make Adam and Eve distrust the words of God, to destroy God's credibility.
Yes.
Hold on one moment. There was no problem when he suddenly realized they were connected with someone that he felt okay with. And of course, I thanked him. I said, oh, thank you. They're trying to get some problems solved. And you know how that is.
Yes.
And we talked a while. They took off and went on. Now, endorsement is invaluable. Endorsement. When I go to Lagos, the head general, Lagos, who is over the entire airport, it's like New York there. He meets me at the door. He's not overly friendly, but he knows me, and he takes me everywhere. Walks me through customs, walks me through the security. He walks with me, and when I'm with him, they let me go anywhere I want to go. Why? He's head, we'd call him head honcho. He's the head guy.
Yes.
He's boss man. He's the boss man. Nobody stops him because he's their boss. He writes the checks. He's in charge of order there. He is responsible for order in that environment. I feel better with him there.
Yes.
Because then I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to say I'm okay, and etc. I'm talking about getting along with people. Who is the established authority in that environment? For instance, at the Wisdom Center, you are the established authority as a resident pastor. Miss Rosa is over all the business part of the ministry as the office manager.
Yes.
She is under your authority. The assistant manager is Deshelle. She is under Miss Rosa's authority. We don't have 5 bosses at the Wisdom Center.
Yes.
Now, if I walk in and I come to visit and see everyone, because I was the founder of the Wisdom Center, and I'm responsible for all the bills and that to be paid and everybody's payroll and make sure the TV programs get sent out, et cetera, then of course I have a voice then, and you always show me graciousness and honor. You don't try to push me around, and I don't push you around, because you are the established voice of authority in that environment. My sister, Dr. Deborah, is, in my mind, kind of like an unofficial administrator in one sense, but really a official, because she's the mastermind of so many things, and she's called herself the project manager, but she is an advisor to me at the highest level. I couldn't put in words how much she's blessed me and helped me. And if there's any one person there, if there's one person that you would want to talk to if I was sick in the hospital, you would call Miss Dr. Deborah. Yes, because she's been with me the longest. She's my sister. Yes. She is my number one conversationalist. And I talk to her more than I talk to almost anybody in the world. And she also never fails to know what I would want. And that's important. It's important to have someone close to you who wants to know what's in your heart. What do you like? What do you prefer? Was the secret of the cupbearer to Jonathan. Jonathan was no dummy. Jonathan was very, very smart, very loving, and became close to David. But when they were having a big banquet back at the palace, Jonathan decides it'd be a good time to attack the enemy, the Philistines. And I think David had kind of motivated him to leadership as well. But the cupbearer, armor bearer, said to Jonathan, I'm going to do what's in your heart. He didn't say, would you like my advice, which would have been okay. He didn't say, I've got a better idea. He didn't say, I disagree with you. Why? Because he wasn't Jonathan. Yes. So we have in our ministry what we call round table discussions. Yes. And I have to have them. I don't have enough brains not to have them. The smartest men in the world have the most advisors. Somebody write that down. Maybe Heather or Julie will, or somebody. Maybe Miss Janice Wills. Janice has been doing some good. I haven't been on Twitter in several days, but she may send that out. But the smartest men in the world are the ones who have the most advisors. Those with the least advisors are the most unintelligent people. You want to know what others see, what others feel, what others experience. Say, I've had the most inexperienced people in the world have a better idea than me. They don't think I don't know that. There's a famous illustration, a true story, of a big semi-truck that got stuck under an overpass. The load was high. The drivers, they're good at driving, but not necessarily reading. And he had not read the height that could be passed underneath. And most people learn quickly from mistakes rather than mentorship. But they got stuck. So they had all the highway patrol out there. They had fire trucks out there. They had every kind of thing imaginable come out there. They couldn't figure it out. Had these drag lines. Could they lift it? Could they do this? What could they do? This went on. I'm trying to remember the article. It seemed like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And there was a little boy that had his foot on the ground on his bicycle on the side of the highway. And he was watching them all. I don't remember his age. It seemed like it was 11, but I don't remember. But he watched them for a while. And he said to one of the people around, he said, why don't they just let the air out of the tires? And all the smart, intelligent people looked at each other and said, why didn't we think of that?
Wow.
They didn't. Everybody's looking at something different.
Yes.
And what they're looking at, they have a different opinion of. And of course, they went over and let out the air tire and solved the whole problem. Everybody could go back home. I teach my love circle because they're receivers, and I only am sent to receivers.
Yes.
I have no anointing for rebels. I have a resentment. I have a bad opinion of rebels, but I'm only sent to receivers. That's all I'm sent to. That's all I'm sent to. One night I was reading all the notes to me, and one man just came out against me, and he was he was fighting me on Twitter, and I was eager enough to talk back to him. So both of us, one dummy to another, and he was attacking me, and finally I said, brother, let me just pray for you that God would give you a wife so pretty you'd rather talk to her than argue to the wind here. Let's just pray. And I said, Father, give him a wife so pretty he'd rather be with her than sitting here on Twitter fighting with somebody he doesn't agree with. Give him one he'll want to go make love to. Maybe go in the kitchen, kiss around on her,
Wow.
I don't know if God ever answered that prayer or not. But I stopped reading bad stuff on Twitter and bad stuff on Periscope. It's Periscope, that's what it was, Periscope. So, in our getting along with people, is there an established authority in the environment? Is there an established protocol? Is there an established rule? Is this something that we'd like to a round table discussion, which means that several people gather around a table and say, what do we think is the best? Because I want people to advise me. I got real upset. I remember getting really, really upset over calling all my managers together, about 8 or 10 people in the boardroom. I remember it like it was 50 years ago. Because, I have really good memory from 50 years ago. And that's kind of jokey. So I walked in and says, I need some feedback. I need I asked some questions. What are y'all's suggestions? What are y'all's thoughts about this?
Yes.
They all stared at me. And they didn't stare a long time. But I was in a rush, and I was upset. I said, never mind then, sir. I called all of you, and if you have no thoughts, bye-bye. And I turned around and walked out. I was so upset. That the least I'd wanted was someone lift a hand and said, well, Dr. Murdoch, I've been thinking, but no one did. But I look back now and realized that I thought about problems every moment of my life. That's all I think about. How do I solve this problem? How do I solve this problem? How do I solve this problem? Who do I teach to solve this problem? What's an obvious problem? What's a problem that's most expensive? What's the consequence if I don't solve this problem? That's the way I think. And later on, it dawned on me, I don't think I gave them a chance enough. I didn't even sit down. I should have sat down at the table, and I should have put a door to the building since it looked like they didn't know how to walk into it. I should have says, I'd like some feedback concerning the mail room and how long it takes us to process the mail. And I'm concerned because some of the partners saying they're not receiving my answer very quickly. And to me, a quick answer is a sign of honor. You know, to me, a reaction is a picture of a person's respect level, you know. And so I should have given them a little more environment. I should have made it more environment friendly and made it easier for them. And I should have said, I should have started down the road. Number one, Miss Renee, you're our accountant. And Miss Renee has been with me for years. And I'll tell you, she's a lover of Jesus.
And she's listening, Dr. Murdoch. She's here.
Is she?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
I tell you, she will never waste a minute of your time. She's abrupt. She's terse. She's pointed. She's focused. And by the way, she's a phenomenal graphics artist. And anybody that needs graphics, she's got a company called Midnight Hour, I think it is. .com. MidnightHour.com, is that it?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
She's a tither. She's a giver. And MidnightHour.com, I think is, if it's not, maybe she can send it. I may get it off a little bit. But she's
Midnight Hour Designs.
Oh, MidnightHourDesigns.com. Midnight Hour. So, like, if you're in a rush, it's midnight hour. You've got to get something done. She's fast. She's quick. One day, she had a book cover to me, I think, before I finished talking on church by phone. She was so fast. I couldn't believe it. I thought, well, she must be a prophetess, too. She knew what I was going to teach on. But I'm saying this because I remember her sitting at the table, and she was on my left side. And I should have said, Miss Renee, here's my problem. What are your thoughts? And knowing her, she said, well, she would probably have said, Dr. Warren, let me think about that a little bit before maybe somebody else. Because she always allows people to talk freely with her about anything. She handles the finances of the ministry and has for years. And I'm saying this because I was out of order, of course. So I was in a rush. And I think I surprised them. What I'd been thinking about for hours, they had been thinking about for 5 minutes. I also think back with that, and I thought they didn't want to disappoint me. They wanted to try to give me the best they had, and they wanted to think a little bit. But I was upset because I was real upset because they didn't show any response. Hold on one second. Getting along with people will require some more thinking and some more saying, do they need this? Do they need this? Where was I wrong? And that's probably the first thing I do in my life on everything is where was I wrong? That's probably the first thing I ask. Anytime I have a problem in my life, where was I wrong? Did I expect something I hadn't trained them in, taught? Did I expect them to use, quote, common sense, which is an ambiguous phrase. Common sense means what I know. You know, didn't you have common sense? Didn't you know what I know? Well, no, they don't. Nobody has the same information. Well, couldn't you figure that out? And, you know, I'm always now you and if I said to Miss Laura, go get me 3 loaves of bread. And she comes comes back and says, Dr. Murdoch, they didn't have 3 loaves of bread. Okay, well, give me the 2 you have. Well, I didn't buy any. You wanted 3. They only had 2, but you wanted 3. So you didn't bring the 2? No, you said you wanted 3.
Yes.
Now, see, to me, I would say, well, wouldn't you know to bring the 2? But Laura could have been so literal in her thinking that says he wanted 3 loaves of bread. They don't have 3 loaves. They only have 2.
Yes.
So I can't bring him his 3 loaves of bread. Well, you and I would say, are you stupid? Because we'd say, but that could be Laura's logic. It could be the way she sees things. Everybody has a different frame of reference.
Yes.
So getting along with people requires so much, because there has to be clarity in communication. And it doesn't take but one misstated word. It takes one word left out. You ever been told directions when you were driving and got mixed up? They said, oh, I said right, I meant left. And they looked at you like, you mean you just let that one word throw you off and you missed it for a minute? Well, yeah, you said take a right. Well, I meant left. You know, can't you say, no, you said turn right. So I turned right. 2 hours later, I'm turned left and I'm on the wrong road. Oh, it's just wrong. I am the most obsessed human on the earth that I have met in 73 years for clarity. I am obsessed with clarity. I don't like people talking 110 miles an hour. Talk as if your words mattered.
Yes.
Don't hurl your words at me because they're burning your mouth up. You're trying to spit them out. Talk to me as if you want me to understand what you're saying. It was the biggest complaint about me my entire early ministry is I talk too fast. And I do have a tendency to talk too fast. So I make this effort to talk slow like I'm doing right now is with effort. I'd much rather talk fast like anybody else, or like Laura Thurman or you know, Bishop McIntyre, and talk about her 300 miles an hour. I'd love it. It'd be easier for me to talk fast. But the purpose of my communication is for you to receive clarity in your understanding. Many people talk with jerks. People talk and they emphasize one word over another that doesn't make sense. You know, I went to the grocery store, and then, you know, they don't know which word to emphasize. But I am going to study the way you talk. And the way you talk explains the way your mind is jerking all over the place or whether you're methodical. And it makes difference. But that has to be explained. So when getting along with people, you must immediately give thought to what's the difference in this person. What's the difference in this person? Conversations often reveal a need, an immediate need. Sometimes they reveal pain. Sometimes they reveal limited knowledge. Sometimes people don't want to get a response. They just really need somebody to vent to. Some people talk with a vengeance. Some people talk with hesitation. Some people talk slowly because they're not sure what they really want to say. Sometimes they talk slowly because they're not sure you will understand properly. A lot of ways to land a plane on the airport. And many people circle the airport because they're not sure if that's the right airport they should land their plane. And a lot of times I will look at my staff. I say, go ahead and land your plane. Now I'm teaching my inner circle here, my little love circle that work with me every day, how to be concise with one sentence. It's quite a chore because they want me to have enough information and they don't know where in the story to begin the talk. And since I've talked 50 years longer than they have, I have to work with that. And I'll tell them, do it. Sometimes they'll get up and start talking. I hold up one finger and they'll know I said one sentence. And they'll stop and they'll stop and then they'll be able to say they're getting pretty good at it. Pretty good. Just one sentence. Just one sentence. If I want a hot dog, you don't have to tell me. There's 5 other places down the road that have 5 different kinds of hot dogs. One is 6 inches, one is 7. I just wonder, do they have hot dogs here? That's all I'm interested in. And in their effort to be thorough, they get lengthy sometimes. And so I have to work with that. But I'm training them how to communicate with me in a way that I'm at peace with. Clarity really matters. Clarity doesn't necessarily mean a lot of words and a lot of information.
I love that.
So clarity may mean the least information needed.
Yes.
Yesterday I went by McDonald's. Here's an illustration. Let's say we go through the line. I use McDonald's because they're the only fast food place on earth. Starbucks is where you go when you want to take a nap, waiting for your maybe an hour or two. Slowest place on earth, and I've been on many countries, is Starbucks. Thank God they only sell coffee. If they sold hamburgers, can you imagine how many weeks you would have to camp out there at Starbucks? Let's say we drive up to the line, and of course, I know that you know McDonald's is a fast food place, but they want to prove it by how fast they talk to you. Good day, sir. What is your order today? What's your order today? And you say, what? Oh, what do you want to order? What do you want to order? We're ready. Wait. And you say to the 10-year-old girl that passed his 18th, you say to her on the microphone, I have 3 orders. 1 for a Big Mac, 1 for 2 with a double meat with everything. Everything? Yes. Onions? Yes, everything. Tomatoes? Yes, everything. Lettuce? Everything. Can you tell I've eaten for 73 years and understand the fast food language on it? Now, I like iced tea at McDonald's. It's the only iced tea anywhere I want. I like it. And I'd like 1 iced tea. Large. Now, why don't I go ahead and tell her large? Because she's going to ask me the question if I don't tell her.
Yes.
Okay? You see, I plan to talk before I talk. Makes me a little different. I like a large iced tea. 4 sweet and lows or Splendas or Equal, whichever one you've got in there. I do it slow. Why? They only talk fast. They don't hear well. And I know that. See, I used yesterday information for today's decisions.
Wow.
I've done this before. Now, if the lady, I say that with fantasizing that there's actually a lady there. With the lady, I say to her, one iced tea. So sorry, sir, we don't have the iced tea ready today. It won't be ready till 9 o'clock tonight. Now, that's okay. I understand. Thank you. Okay, I pretty appreciate it. Give lemonade or something. What I don't want to hear is, sir, we just served our last iced tea an hour ago. A lady came through here, and she wanted 10. And our machine broke down. We got her the 10, but the machine guy won't be here till Wednesday. He won't get here till 9 o'clock at night. Do you think I want all that information?
No, sir.
Do I need this information?
No, sir.
Not everybody that wants to talk wants a relationship.
Wow.
I want to say that again in case somebody sees the wisdom of it.
Yes.
There's always one thinker in every meeting here, you know. I don't need all that information. What's the information needed? What's the information desired? Is it clear? Is it with clarity? Does everybody involved know about the information? This is all in getting along with people. Because you can drive up to McDonald's with excitement and leave with a pistol in your head and in your mind, I'm coming back. And after all that conversation, you've learned, of course, after 50 years of eating, you learn to pull over to the side to see if they understood when you said you wanted a slice of tomato. Because you don't know who's in there. Those people in McDonald's, one could be from Pakistan, one could be from Liberia, one would be from Brazil, 53 will be from Monterrey, Mexico. But you don't know how many people is going to be in there. And when you said tomato, they don't know if it was tomato. You don't know. You don't know what they heard. You never know what people hear when you talk. And that's an important key. You don't know what people hear when you talk because their imagination is more exciting to them than your conversation. You pull it open. You stop. You slowly open up the hamburger. And there it is. Nothing's on it. In fact, they put mustard in. I don't even want mustard on hamburger. Now, if I'm in a vacation mood, not in a hurry, I may say to Brother Pastor David, go back in, son, and see if they could give you 3 more slices of tomatoes. Now, Pastor David reaches for my hamburger to take it back in. I said, oh, no, son, it took us 27 minutes to get this far. Let's don't go back to square one. No, don't bring back the original hamburger. Don't do that. Well, Dr. Murdoch, they may may want some extra money. I said, son, that's why I got into the prosperity. I knew I would be asking for some extra tomato slices at McDonald's. I knew that. Pay them for the extra tomatoes and bring them back to the van where I am sitting. And take the tomatoes out of the sack and hand them to me where I can put them on my own tomato, my own hamburger. Talk as if nobody's listening, because they're not. Talk as if nobody understood you, because they didn't. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had that over the years. Dr. Brown, we're out of gas. Would you like for me to pull over here and get some gas? And immediately my creative nature thinks of many things. No, tonight let's try water. Let's give Jesus a chance. He can walk on it. Let's see if he can create it. You have no idea the things that go through my mind and my reactions to people. Yes. Right now. No, let's catch it for next Thursday. My Lord. Let's see. We laugh because it's so true. You know, it's an experience we've had. And when you've finished all of this, then you drive on to the doctor where you're treated for anxiety. Isn't that a picture? I have all kind of thoughts when I was at the doctor's office. I saw a lady walk by, you know, and she was so slow and so old. I said, Lord, kill me the day before I get her age. Just kill me. I did, Lord, kill me the day before I get her age. I've had people say, I'm praying God give you a long life. I said, not like the present one. I don't want my present one to last long. That's my, hear that little sound. Hold on, I've got monitors all over my chest. Hold on 1 second. Getting along with people takes a lot of thought, and it takes practice. And you turn every conversation into a building block. Your goal when you're talking to people is not to get through the moment, but your goal is to have clarity, understanding, because especially if there's a difference when you're driving through Arby's or Chick-fil-A or something, and when you're talking to your husband or your wife, there's a difference, of course. But I want to make everyone conscious of clarity. Make them really conscious of clarity.
Yes.
To understand you correctly.
Yes.
Is there any information I should have? Now, I'm pretty, started to say effective. That's not true. I'm pretty aggressive in my questions. I ask a lot of questions because I'm needing specific answers. For instance, well, the church we went to look at the other day. I said I need it, because everybody said, "Oh, we love this church. We love this church," because we're relocating the Wisdom Center and selling the Wisdom Center. So I want to know about this church. Give me some facts. And the first thing I wanted to know about the church was not, did anybody sleep on the second row? That was not my request. I didn't want to know, do they have a urinal? My first question was, what's the square footage of the building?
Yes.
I heard 3 I don't knows. And here we are about to go to look, and this is my one-time visit to check everything out, because I'm not Methuselah. I don't have 969 years to look at a church.
Yes.
Someone said, I don't know. I finally got the answer. 5,000 square feet. 5,000 square feet. Wow. That means my dog would be able to sleep in my bedroom there. I'd have a 5,000 square feet. That means I could sleep there, and I'd have room for my protection dog too. 5,000. Oh, we may be able to squeeze in some iced tea in there. Yeah. But I was shocked. 5,000. Well, when we got there, we got some more information. It was 11,000 square feet. Okay, 11,000 square feet. Okay. And they want 1.3 million or 1.4 million. Do you have the appraisal? No, not with me. Oh, where is it? Oh, you left it at Starbucks last week. Oh, the appraisal's at Starbucks. I've come to look at a church. We don't even have an appraisal in our hand to look at. Okay, let's just say it's 1.3 million 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. 11,000 square feet into 1.3 million. Okay. They're wanting roughly $110 per square foot. Roughly. Wow, okay. That's kind of expensive, but $110 a square foot. Okay. If that's the case, we need to be charging for the Wisdom Center $13.5, $13.9, $14 million. Well, I have a realtor who wants me to give away the Wisdom Center as a gift, a donation to the city of Haltom. Of course, after he gets his $300,000 commission. When you listen with everything.
Yes.
Love Circle, when you talk with abandonment to the moment.
Yes.
I'm not in my kitchen digging through the refrigerator looking for a cold drink. My focus is on talking to you. That's my focus. I'm not swimming in the pool. I'm not hammering nails on top of my roof. Put everything you have into the moment, the present moment. Learn to doubt naturally and consistently everything that you hear. Doubt it. Doubt it. Until you can verify it.
Yes.
What about you? Doubt? I don't mind scrutiny 1 iota. If anything I say doesn't make sense to you, write it down. It doesn't make sense. That don't bother me 1 iota. because you have a right to doubt anything I say. Even God gives you that right to doubt anything he says. Prove it. In fact, he said it this way. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let my word be established.
Yes.
God craved verification, confirmation. He wanted you to prove what he said. One place he said, prove me herewith, saith the Lord. Getting along with people is going to take focus. It's going to require focus. You're going to have to identify their difference from you to see if they're understanding what you're saying. Your 5-year-old son's not going to understand daddy's lingo, daddy's language. You change the language. I remember one day telling one of our pastors, and he lined up all the kids up there. And then he started talking in Vietnamese / Pekingese / I could hardly understand what he had just said of me. And the kids, of course, just looked at each other. They look at each other because they don't understand what you're saying. And so when he got through, I pulled him to the side. I said, son, these are 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. Don't hurl, H-U-R-L. Don't hurl words at them like you're speaking to a 50-year-old grown-up group. These are children. Talk slow. Give them a thought at a time. And of course, we always ask the questions. Preachers do it too. It's part of our rich heritage of we ask real questions. How many people love Jesus? Oh, wow. Jesus, is that why we're here? Oh, I thought we was at the Dairy Queen. Oh, no, we don't love Jesus. We're here because we hear there's free yogurt in the harbor. But we ask those questions to try to get some reaction going, you know?
Yes, sir.
And everybody say, yeah, I love Jesus. How many really love Jesus? Oh, okay. Let's see, really, what does that mean? Really love Jesus, okay. Yeah, and we slowly lift our hand. I really love Jesus. I'm laughing because we don't give a lot of thought to what we're saying.
Yes, sir.
Preachers say, can I get an amen? You want just one? You want 5? You want 6? Would you like them real loud? You want them out of the right side of my mouth? You want me to scream it? You want me to whisper it? Are you low on amens? That excites you? How many would give me somebody give me an amen? Of course, we look at each other. Please. In fact, let's all give him an amen. He looks like he really needs an amen. Amen. And he gets his breath back and he's able to continue his love talk to us. And then we'll do the other preacher part. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. Well, then shut up and go home if we're not listening. Save a trip. Can you tell I think a lot?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
Always talk to the 4th grade mind when you're publicly teaching. Always talk to people as if they're in the 4th grade level, because then everybody understands. And if you talk to the intelligentsia, the PhD level, many people will not grasp what you're saying. Talk to them about something that interests me, something I need to know about, or you believe I need to know about. Getting along with people means you need to master attentiveness to who you're talking to. It needs to be purposeful. What's the purpose? Where are we going? What is the desired conclusion of this conversation? What's the purpose of this? What is your desired reaction and outcome? Years ago, I had so many requests to meet with me. At one time, I was trying to meet them all, and I wanted to meet with, frankly, you'd love to meet every human God ever made, really. But I was trying to meet with them, and so I had a little request form, who this person is. What is the purpose? What's the questions they have for me? And I had them in there, what is their desired outcome of our meeting together? And if you're smart, you'll always establish a conclusion time. You don't say, come over at 2 o'clock. They may stay to 2 o'clock in the morning the next morning. But you say, I'd like to meet with you from 2 o'clock to 2:30. And the older you get, you learn to put conclusions and expiration dates on everything. Because it makes your time more valuable. It shows them that you value your time. And I've learned to try to learn. Anytime you say anytime, that's exactly it. You'll be right in the middle of something you're trying to get done, and that's when they show up.
Yes.
Be real, specific about your time, the purpose of it. And it's very disconcerting to me for a doctor to say, so why are you here today? And I want to say, you didn't read the 49,000 pages we filled out the last 3 hours in the waiting room. You didn't read the purpose of the meeting. I thought that was established when we established that. You're the one that said I need to come back and see you 3 months ago. You said this. You don't know why I'm here. If you don't know why I'm here, I don't either. I came because you said you wanted to see me. Be very purposeful. Develop it. Know who you're talking to. Identify limitations with people. Some are very limited in their understanding. They're limited in their ability to talk. They're limited in their interest. And you may want to talk about something they're not interested in. And you may be forced in getting along with people to listen to a lot of unnecessary words. And you do that as it's session 3 in the School of Patience on Earth. Is enduring someone talk. And you use that moment to develop your patience.
Yes.
And you stare at their eyes to see if there's something you hadn't seen before. And that's a joke. And you listen very attentively. You'll be tempted to stare out the window at the trees that are blowing with a red bird on limb number 4. You'll be very tempted. You'll be very tempted. But give attention to the moments. Make moments count. And when you realize that some people are just talking because they're trying to create a warm atmosphere, they're trying to be friendly, they're trying to be sociable, but they don't know how to be meaningful.
Wow.
And that's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are conversations just to be sociable. There are some conversations to be meaningful. There are some conversations you do it to avoid going crazy, so you try to get some sound in the environment.
Oh, no.
Some people don't know what to say, and you'll find that out within about 5 seconds. And when they don't know what to say, you take the lead in the conversation and say, tell me about you. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your life. Don't make people drive their conversational car across a pasture. Give them a track, give them a road,
Yes.
and preferably an interstate. And you say, you say, so tell me about you. Oh, well, you know, no, I don't. That's why I asked you the question. Don't ever ask anybody how they're feeling unless you're ready to receive that.
Mm.
They may curse. They may say, tired, sleepy, or it's been a rough day. But don't say, how are you feeling if you don't really want to know.
Yes.
But anytime you talk to anybody, remember they have value to God. You may not know their purpose in your life, but they have value to God.
Yes.
If they don't know why they're there in your life, you can give them a road. You can be very attentive. Be attentive to the tears. Be attentive. I can go down the list I talked about the other day, and Miss Sonia said, I can't believe you knew every person in that room and what they were. Oh, I did. I knew purpose. I knew the woman yelling at her mother because she was slow and 90 years old, wanted her to move fast. I saw the two children trying to be playful with each other because Daddy was at the front desk. And Anton Ricardo, you're precious. Those are precious words, son. Precious words. Thank you. I just read your words, and they mean a lot to me. A lot to me. I went down the list, everybody in that clinic, and I listened to tones of voices. I saw people exasperated. I saw people lonely. I saw people hurting. I saw people pushing a walker alone because nobody was there to walk with them, be with them at the clinic. I had many, many thoughts. The Bible said when Jesus saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion. Everybody is not bad. Everybody is not cruel. Everybody is not a liar. There are millions of people so alone. So alone. There are many people who don't feel like anybody cares. There are many people whose children have no more time for them, who are just enduring them till they get the will signed. See how much money was left for them. There's a lot of people with sorrowful thoughts. And that's where you and I, as I like to say, I'm Mike Murdoch, a follower of Jesus. There are many people who've never experienced a Jesus person. Jesus love. Many. Many people going to church has not yet received Jesus love. Jesus attentiveness. Does it mean when you love somebody that you run over and kiss them all over their face, tickle them? No. It means you're attentive. Love means I listen to you. Love means I feel your caring. Love means I feel your pain. What can I do? I may not know what to do, but tell me what I can do. That's why I teach my staff, never, 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 never drive past a homeless man on a corner without stopping and giving him, in my case, I give him $20 bills. Give him a 20. Give him, even if it's $1, just show that you care. Just show that you care. I'm giving some $100 bills. Not because I have money to throw away. I'm not throwing it away. I'm investing in the broken. Brian, I have the same thing. Brian, that's a good statement. Brian says, I'm guilty of expecting everyone to understand like I do. And Brian, I do too. Brian, it's one of my biggest flaws. And I'm stunned when others are not attentive. I'm stunned when others do not listen closely. I think I'm shocked at everybody who's not like me, Brian. I think I'm shocked at what's the matter. You didn't understand that. And we all that way, Brian, but it's like I have to kind of slap myself upside the head sometimes and say, wait. And Jesus kind of gave us a standard. It's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible. Do unto others as you would that men would do to you. Whether you're in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Japan, Taija, I cannot wait to meet you, son. I love talking to you a few days back. Liberia, the pastor, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, St. Lucia, wherever you're from today. Getting along with people is worth your total, absolute attention.
Yes.
It's worth effort to learn. There's a book, it's not going to be fun reading, but there's a book I read when I was a boy, How to Win Friends and Influence People, by a man named Dale Carnegie. You'll disagree with some of the books, because some of it will look like it's manipulative and, kind of, what do you say, deceptive. But go past that part, keep reading. But the truth, hold on one second. Benjamin Flynn works at McDonald's. Benjamin, I got to tell you something. I like McDonald's, every part of it. But Benjamin, let me just mention this. Study Ray Kroc's book about the building, the formation of McDonald's. They may require you to read it. But McDonald's is one of the most successful enterprises ever in the world. Very, very much. And you're the best learning place, probably, for some of these things I'm sharing. They train their people very well. But do read Ray Kroc's book on the two salesmen that helped him get. Anyway, it's worth reading. It's worth reading the whole. Any success story contains secrets. It's worthy of reading them. Get along with people. And there's different levels of people. There's many scenarios. There's many. And we expect everybody to have their same beliefs. But they don't. They don't even have the same experiences. And one of my managers one time, beautiful black girl that still stays in touch with her ministry, and we've been friends for many years. I dated her a couple of times before she became manager of her ministry. Brilliant, smart, loves God, full of the Word. But she would tell me how that they would track her in the stores because she was black, and they would follow her from aisle to aisle.
Wow.
And I couldn't even grasp it. I couldn't even grasp racism. I don't understand racism. It's rejection of God's perfect desires. Nothing's more sorrowful than racism. Nothing. Not just the bitter racism. I'm talking about not grasping the reward that's hidden in difference.
Wow.
Because difference contains rewards.
I love that.
Difference contains rewards. That's why God created it, made it. Revelation 4:11. Everyone has different needs, and those needs can change hourly.
Yes.
Those needs can change hourly. You're going to have different circles in your life. You're going to have the circle of encouragers like Dr. Dan Tyler. Write that name down. I need to call Dan. He is one of the best people in my life, my world. He's the one who led International Seminary in bestowing upon me the honor of doctorate. They listened to hundreds of tapes and read many of my books before they ever chose to give me an honorary doctorate degree. But he's one of the best. He's one of the best humans you'll ever meet. He's also a chaplain for the FBI. He's a president of International Bible Seminary there in Florida. But Dan taught me to have an encourager circle, and once a week have 6, 7 people just to meet at your home, just to love on each other, just encouragement. That's all. Just encourage each other. No purpose, no hidden agenda. Just encouragers. And he picked out people during a difficult, dark season in his life. And on, I think it was Thursday night was their night. And we need each other. We need each other. We need the difference in each other, Pastor Anna.
Yes, sir.
We need the difference in each other. Those that are quiet, you sit there listening to us. We need their gentleness,
Yes.
their attentiveness. Those that are full of laughter, joyful. Even those who want to joke a lot, we need them in our life. We need men in our life. We need women in our life. We need children in our life. We need variation. We need variation. You know, our mayor here at Haltom City is part of Vietnamese. I think it's Vietnamese. Very gracious man, very gracious. And I don't know if you've ever gone to a Vietnamese restaurant much, but I'm not nuts over Vietnamese food, but I could say some pictures of their egg rolls. I like the Chinese egg rolls better. But Mayor David Havret has made an impact on Haltom City. Very gracious, because he's looking over the Wisdom Center there, possibly wanting to buy it to put the entire government of Haltom City here at the Wisdom Center, which would be perfect for all their business. It's built for it. But I was thinking about Mayor David a few seconds ago, and how gentle he is, how gracious he is. And there's other that are a little rougher, outspoken. But if you ever go to a Vietnamese restaurant, you will love the courtesy. It's excessive courtesy.
Yes.
Excessive courtesy. We don't have the background of Americans. Americans are kind of crude compared to Filipinos and Vietnamese people. Every culture has its pluses and minuses. And in America, we're so much into freedom that we kind of overlook the magnetism of graciousness. I wish we could get it back. I don't know that it'll ever happen. I don't think we've had it since George Washington was here, but I wish we could go back to those days of dignity. And let me just say this, getting along with people. Are you easy to get along with? What environment do you need for you to operate and function best? I function best in kindness. That's why I don't do well in doctors' clinics. I have a need for graciousness. I have a need for kindness. there's a real big fancy place. I say fancy, I shouldn't say fancy. It's a huge place close to my house, a restaurant. Expensive, but they cater to the cowboy mentality. They cater to the, how are y'all doing tonight? What do you want? What kind of gift are you tonight? Good. You want what kind? Red eye? You want red eyes? Hey, okay, sure, I got it right here. And I don't mind that freedom, but it's not my most pleasant place.
Yes.
I like to walk into a place where there's gentleness. I like to. When I first went and saw the bigness and the splendor of this big barn-looking thing, I thought, oh, I bet I'll come here every week. Their food was okay. It was not, it's not earth-shattering, but it's okay. I couldn't tell whether the steak was from the side of a pig or a cow. I don't know. I can't tell. But I never went back. It's too rough for me. Too rough. Too rough. And then we went to another place a few days ago where what was it? What's Japanese place, I think. Where was it? Hold on a second. By that salon.
Blue Ginger.
Huh?
In Denton.
Is it Japanese? Hibachi. Hibachi. H-A-B. Hibachi. H-A-B-A-C-H-I. And they don't really cut the food there in front of you, but the young man was so gracious. He wasn't skilled, but he was nice. He was gracious. And the lady was smiling. Oh, she was the manager. Moved around I know they hired for a smile because you just sit there and want to look at her smile. But when we went to leave, I went to tip the young man, and I try to show always what I'm tipping. Some people are so ashamed of their tip that they kind of rolled it up like a cigarette. Like a sailor and a cigarette, and they got $2 in there. But I opened it up and I said, son, you are excellent tonight in hosting us. And he was not real trained real well. He says, oh, I'm just doing my job. And that's, by the way, not the greatest response on earth. But I said, well, son, you did it so well. Not everybody. I said, you were so attentive. You kept filling up my tea. You kept filling up our water. And I said, it really meant a lot. So I tipped him a lot more than he probably was used to getting. He hurried up and shoved it, I think, in his pocket, so the other people. And I like to tip with cash, because I don't know if you add it on the credit card if they'll ever get it, because some companies keep half of their tips. So I like that, And then I went over to the lady, and she came over to greet us, and she couldn't speak. I don't know if she could even speak much English, but her smile was $1 billion worth. And I said, this is my first time here. I live about 15 minutes away, and I've never been here before, but your food was excellent. And I said, the young man here, forget his name, you were out over it. The young man here, I said, was so excellent. I said, we'll be back. And she just smiled big. And Flint, that was his name, Flint, like Flintstones, Flint. And she was so gracious. And when I walked out, I had some thoughts. Why not be the best experience someone had all day? Why not be that? Why not take initiative? Why not be aggressive? I didn't put a Bible in his hand, say, this is getting in the Bible. Do you know Jesus? I didn't go to the woman smile and said, that if you don't know Jesus, he's going to wipe that smile off your face. You're going to burn in hell like that stove right behind you. Just why not? Why not be someone's best experience if you can?
I love that.
Why not be their best experience if you can? Why not be that best experience if you can?
Yes.
Why not? We don't know what they put up with just before we got there.
Yes.
We don't know if somebody just carried out, we don't know. I told the manager, we stopped by a place on the way back yesterday from the doctor's office. We stopped by a guy. Oh, it's some kind of, it's not Chinese, Pei Wei. Pei Wei. P-E-I-W-E-I. Pei Wei. It's like a Chinese food place, but it's not like Panda Express where you can just pick out all your food on a buffet. But I went in there, and so we looked through the menu, and, eating's quite an event to me. And I've actually done it my entire life, Pastor Anna. That's kind of a joke. So we looked over everything, and when I really like to order several things. It's just my style. Didn't get to do it when I was a child, so I like to order plenty of food. Because I may not like the first thing, so I order a second thing. And one of the staff ordered something, and it was so salty. It's really too salty. And she couldn't eat it. So she reordered. A lot of people try to choke down what they've ordered to save their $10, but I don't feel that way. I want what I want, and I want it the way I want it, Yeah. I really, really do. I'm not going to choke down anything I don't want. Yeah. My stomach's waited for hours to grin and smile, and I'm not going to throw a bad experience into my stomach. Yes. And so it was too salty. I said, go ahead and order it. So I sent Pastor David up to pay for the second order, and the manager would not receive it. He said, oh, no. And I was concerned because I didn't want him to think we were one of those kind of gripey people, I may never go there again. I couldn't even tell you the name of the place except Pei Wei. That's all I know. But he was so gracious, so kind, said, oh, no, we want it right. And food was really good. Pei Wei food is good. That's good. Got some good variety, by the way. And when we went to leave, I went over to the manager, who smiled a lot as by the way, he was manager, but he was wiping glasses and cleaning tables, and I told him, I said, sir, you didn't have to do that. I would not expect you, but I said, that was so gracious of you to provide the backup food. And I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling like running through, the fields. But I wanted him to know that his difference and his goodness had value to me. Yes. Getting along with people means you see their value. Yes. And you see their difference. And mainly you get along with people because you want to be a pleasurable moment for them in their life. Yes. You really want to be pleasurable to them. I don't face everybody that's not pleasurable to me. I don't do that. I did probably when I was 20 or 30, but I don't do it now. But the way I can do this, when someone's been, just go the extra mile. Get along with everyone you can. And if you got a little extra sharp with somebody, go to them and say, I must have been under stress, or I don't know what's wrong with me. I was a little uptight today. Please forgive me. Apologize quickly.
Yes.
The longer you wait, the harder it has to be. Just apologize quickly, swiftly, when something's not right. Go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. Husbands, don't just push the chair back from the table and say, another good meal, woman. Glad I married you. Think I'll stay married another week till you if you could looking like this, It's okay, but it doesn't hurt to come up behind her and put your arms around her and say, baby, you do so much for me. I hope I can succeed so incredible that you have the most beautiful home you ever dreamed of. But you sure are good to all of us. Take the time to be kind. Invest. It's okay to throw up a thumb and say, good food, thanks. But before you leave a restaurant, go over to the cooks. I've even tipped cooks many times because they're the ones who cook the food.
Yes.
They went the extra mile. Why am I saying this? It's getting along with people. Labor. Don't wait for everybody to be good to you. Don't wait for everyone to appreciate you. Harvest starts with seeds.
Yes.
And just start sowing them. Just start sowing them. Start with your words. Start with countenance. There's a place called Golden Corral. And it's my favorite eating place in the world. Because it's varieties, You can get crab meat. You can get meatloaf, tacos, salads, fried chicken, steaks, corn, cabbage, lima beans, black-eyed peas, chocolate cake. I'm not hungry, by the way, Pastor Anna. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a lady. She looks Oriental. She looks Oriental. Maybe Vietnamese or Chinese or something like that. I so admire people who have such difference in their culture. Always hated being American because I look like 10 billion others. I just always wish I had either slanted eyes or something. I really admire people who are what they call pure-blooded.
Yes.
Because I'm 7/8 Irish and 1/8 Indian, Cherokee, and there's just nothing special about me. Like that. Just nothing special. You've seen me. You've seen 20 billion other people. So it's like I always wanted to be, like even Spanish. And, I like the dark skin, really like the dark skin. If I could choose a skin, I'd probably be from the Congo. They have deep purple, almost black, purple, black, beautiful, gorgeous. We all envy other people and other things like that. But she's always a little short. Remember, she smiles. And remember when we went there the other, was she with? Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Murdoch. Her name is Christine.
That's right, the staff. Christine, that is her name. Christine. Everybody remember that. Christine, I came in and she smiled. I hadn't been there a long time. She smiled, and she can't speak much English, I don't think. But her don't have to, her smile. Mm-hmm. And she knows she just served us with the staff, some of our staff members able to come together and be there. And I was thinking at the end, how do we bless her? How do we honor her? So I took a $50 bill. You don't really tip too much at a buffet because you don't kind of serve yourself. They just bring you tea or water. So normally you don't expect a big tip. But I got a $50 bill and wrote up where she could see the 50. Gave it to one of the team. I said, go tell her and hold this out to her and say, you always are so good to all of us. And make an event out of that moment. Does that make sense?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch. Yes,
Make
sir.
an event.
Make an event.
Because I'm sure she helped a lot of people that didn't tip her a nickel all day long. And here she is, probably 60 years old, working late at night, trying to make a living. Well, getting along with people doesn't mean battling obnoxious people. It means creating a good experience for people as you can.
Yes.
The best that you can. Do it the best that you can. The best that you can. And the best that you can. If your mechanic did an extra good job on repairing your car and he did it fast, why not send him a gift basket? Why not? $40. But he's exceptional. He's honest. He treated you right. Some people call that the law of the second mile, going the extra mile. Do it for your wife. Do it for your children. Slow down your life to the speed of gratitude. Slow down your life to the speed of thankfulness. It's really worth. You see, if I was at the Wisdom Center, I'd send the mayor the most spectacular gift basket he'd ever received in his life.
Yes, sir.
And say, Mayor David, what an honor to host you and your team at the Wisdom Center. It meant so much to us. We're glad to be a part of your world. Thank you for investing time to come out of Wisdom Center.
Yes, sir.
When T.D. Jakes came a few weeks ago, see, if I'd have been at the Wisdom Center, he would have got a gift basket, tall as he is, and say, what an honor to have someone of your world-renowned influence visit our Wisdom Center. It meant the world to us. You took out time to come look at the Wisdom Center. Do you follow me?
Yes, sir.
That's what getting along with people means.
I love that.
That's what that means. Getting along with people is not how do you stop a Hitler walking through your house. When you're attacked, let's get closer to your friends is one of my statements. During times of adversity, just get closer to your friends. I wouldn't worry about understanding all the enemies. I wouldn't worry about that. And you said, well, I want to save the $50. Well, okay. That's for your no account too. But I'm talking about building relationships. Building relationships. Getting along with people is not a survival strategy. It's a love style of Jesus.
Yes.
It's the love style of Jesus. I wouldn't waste any time to retaliate against bad people. I would invest on loving the good people, being a good experience. Being a good experience. Any thoughts before I go?
I love that, Dr. Murdoch. I remember when you taught us the phrase, the one that loves first wins.
You know, that is so huge to me, but I never say it much because it sounds like a manipulation. But so I don't say it much. But Jesus loved us first.
Yes.
And we have felt a need to love him back ever
Yes.
since he did it.
Yes, yes, yes. 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 I love that, Dr. Murdoch. I love that. That I'm never gonna forget that phrase ever.
I I don't do as much as I want to. I'm not as skilled at the gratitude system as I would like to be. Should Jesus tarry and I live throughout this year, I would like to get very highly skilled at that. I would, you know, that no preacher that ever comes to the Wisdom Center ever buys any books. He gets all he wants free. You know that.
Yes, sir.
You don't ever have to ask me about that. That's an established, when preachers come, and they come from all over the world, they come to the Wisdom Center. We bring them inside the store, and we not only let them choose any book they want, as many as they want, but we ship it back for them so they don't have to bring it back on the plane with them. Okay?
Yes, sir.
There's a reason for that. It's a relationship tool that Jesus said, do unto others
Yes.
as you would they would do to you.
Yes.
We have a Vietnamese church meeting at the Wisdom Center. Right?
Yes, sir.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
They may have another night too, I don't know, but on Sundays.
Yes.
And they want to know what I would charge them. Nothing. Why? They're children of the Most High God. I would never sell what I'm able to give.
Wow.
That would be ludicrous. I wouldn't charge them a penny. They get to use the harbor if they want to. They get to use whatever they want. When many hands always come to the Wisdom Center, you want to know, what the charge was, $5,000, $4,000. Nothing. Nothing. I don't charge people to come use the house of the Lord because I can squeeze an extra $3,000 out of them. The house is paid for. The church is paid for. Why not try to squeeze another dollar or two out of you? Why would I do that? It's not Jesus' way.
Wow.
Do unto others as you would.
Wow.
Why would I do that? I'm not saying you can do that all over your life. I'm just saying, it's the Jesus way.
Yes.
Getting along with people means you invest love at the level you can invest it. You invest joy. You invest in the experience of pleasure.
Yes.
You become a pleasure. I never forget when I was a young preacher. A preacher said, Brother Mike, so-and-so wants you. He said, I told him, you weren't dangerous. You wouldn't hurt his church. And I did not know at that time how important that was till I found there are people who hurt the church. But that was his big thing. He says, Murdoch won't hurt your church.
Wow.
And I didn't think anything about the time. Well, that's odd. But now, just imagine if people knew. One of the things we love about you, Pastor Anna, and I know a lot of people just see a pretty lady from Mexico, and a lot of people just hear a brilliant teacher on faith, etc. But the fact is, you exude the nature of Jesus. And to me, that's everything. To me, you're making the Wisdom Center the Wisdom Center.
Wow.
Not because you can speak several languages, which you do, but what makes the Wisdom Center to me is love. I wouldn't go to a church that I couldn't feel tangible love in the environment.
Yes.
I got carpet in my house. I don't need the carpet and air conditioner. I got that home. I don't have to get up and drive for an hour to know the wisdom. The intrigue of the Wisdom Center from everybody that comes,
Yes.
as they say, is the fragrance of love.
Yes.
That's all I hear about the Wisdom Center. That's all I hear. It's all I hear about your ministry, your life, is the love you exude.
Wow.
When you travel all over the world, when you go to Brazil and Nigeria and all everywhere you go, people talk about the love that comes forth from you.
Wow.
A preacher of a great church in Chicago, they run, 2,000 plus. Big church, he's well known. He's on TV all the time.
Yes.
He told me that you were the first person in the history of his ministry who had ever received him a personal offering from his people.
Wow.
In all the years of his ministry, nobody had ever received him a personal offering.
Wow.
I remember one night, I went to just before I walked to the platform, David, Morris Cerullo is one of the most successful preachers on earth. He's raising $10 million now for his Legacy Center. He's 88, 89, I think. And I think his wife is Teresa is 88, I think. Or she's 89, he's 88. And just before I walked to the platform, because I preach for him all over the world, the Holy Spirit says, receive a love offering for him from the people. And have 10 people join your 12, I think it was 10 or 12, to sow a $25,000 seed into his life.
Wow.
And I want you to be the first. And Morris Cerullo is not poor. He is not a broke preacher. He's extreme. He's got jets to fly everywhere on the earth. But something in me, I said, of course, I always say yes to God. I walked up to the pulpit and I says, family, the Holy Spirit just told me we're to sow a very special love seed into our man of God here. And God spoke to me that there's 10 or 12, I forget which one now. I'm going to sow the first $25,000 seed. He went into shock. He jumped up as if he was going to stop me because he was so ill at ease with it. He was so ill at ease. So I calmed him down because he's pretty volatile. I calmed him down and I says, Dr. Cerullo, the Lord spoke this to me because we need the anointing that's upon your life. We need what's on you. We really need it. And I said, this is not for your ministry around the world. This $25,000 seed is for you and Teresa. Anything you want it. But I said, it's for you. It's our love seed to you.
Wow.
He told me after and told everybody it's the first time. Now he is 88. He's 88 years old. It's the first time in the history of his whole life that anybody had ever received an offering from him.
Wow.
He flew me back for, I think, his 85th birthday or 80th birthday several years ago. And I had to cancel a major crusade in Nigeria to fly back to be at his celebration in Florida. Hour after hour flying back. But he really wanted me to be the special speaker at his birthday celebration. 80 in his 80s. And I canceled my plans, flew all the way back. And me and Daniel Ponce, Dr. Ponce, and we sat there and I thought of so many things sitting there at his table before I went up to speak. Honor makes you memorable,
Yes.
makes you unforgettable.
Yes.
And what's 2 hours to you is a lifetime memory to another. And they draw a lot of joy from that, a lot of pleasure from that.
Yes.
Who have you failed to show proper honor to? Who have you failed because you were so busy? These are questions I ask. Is there anyone I haven't shown proper honor to? It's not that I don't appreciate them. Have I shown proper honor to them? Have I shown proper honor? When I was 37, I did not know how to show honor. I'm still barely learning. Honor is a heart thing. It's a heart-to-heart thing.
Yes.
Find ways. We're talking about getting along with people. I'm not talking about bribing an official. I'm not talking about slipping a $10 bill to a policeman's hand, as one friend of mine did at New York airport. I'm talking about creating pleasure. I still haven't forgotten our Pleasure Makers Weekend. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Making a pleasurable experience for people. Making it a pleasurable experience. Making a pleasurable experience. See, if I was at the Wisdom Center, I think there, when you walked in the front door there, if I was there, I'd want to see an apple or a banana in a coffee cup and choices of coffee, Cuban coffee, Mexico coffee, Colombia coffee, or something
Yes, sir.
inside the little, what they call receptions when you walked in.
Yes, sir.
You follow me?
Yes, sir.
If I was there, I wouldn't want to wait more than 5 minutes in the wisdom in the waiting room for anybody, would you?
No, Dr. Murdoch.
So that's an instruction I would have for the receptionist.
We'll do that.
Don't let anybody wait more than 5 minutes, and ask them what they would like. They may be, I would offer donuts, but I'm on this health kick right now,
Yes, sir.
Do you follow me?
Oh, yes, Dr. Murdoch. We will implement.
I aim at the highest level of hosting you can possibly. Janice is known
Oh, yes.
for her wonderful gentleness, her graciousness. Everybody that comes says they're treated better at the Wisdom Center than anywhere else in the world.
Yes.
Well, you should if it's a Wisdom Center. My Lord, honor is the way you know the level of wisdom somebody has. That's the way you measure wisdom.
Yes.
Does this person know how to demonstrate honor? Do they know how to demonstrate honor?
Yes.
There's just a lot of ways. The other day I was trying to find and Rose was our manager, and she found I think it was her found it, somebody found it. But I wanted to send a book to one of my partners. But I didn't want to just wrap up a book in ugly paper like you get at Walmart. Brown wrapping, you don't know whether it's trash or what. But I wanted a beautiful box, a gift box. I wanted a beautiful gift box. And when people opened the box, it had value. It showed value. It meant something. It was important. That helps you get along with people. Be a pleasant experience. Be a pleasant experience. Be easy to be agreeable. Be agreeable. Be a listener. Be kind. Don't try to rule anybody else. Be gracious. Anyway,
Yes, sir. Wow, I love this.
those are my thoughts. Well, I have
You have elevated us to another. You have taken us to another level of excellence, Dr. Murdoch, and we will implement immediately.
I hope David, and I hope when Raquel goes to sit down, I hope you're teaching him to pull out the chair for Raquel.
Not yet, Dr. Murdoch, but I will tonight.
And then teach him to pull out your chair,
Yes, sir.
because you're his mother. As we do those things, they become habitual.
Yes.
They become a normal way. And it's gracious, it's dignity. Let's get along.
Yes.
Let's get along together.
Yes.
because they've already had enough pain from everybody else.
Yes.
They've already had enough pain.
Yes.
They've already had enough pain. When you're in the freeway, let somebody else go ahead of you. Let somebody else drive ahead of you. Well, I was here first. Oh, okay. But if you'll learn to say, you go first, I'll wait for you. You go next, I'll wait. What happens is you begin to develop a dignity in your life, a graciousness in your life. It becomes very special. Very, very special. And I'd rather live a short life of quality than a long life of mediocrity.
I love that.
I have a need
Yes.
for a quality life. I have a need for that.
Yes.
I'm not obsessed with living a long life, but I am obsessed with living a quality life.
Wow.
A quality life. A quality life.
Yes. Wow.
Any thoughts?
Dr. Murdoch, I am excited about our Pocket Protege of this week because these teachings have been so rich. There's no way we can fail after these sessions on how to get along with people.
Tell the people, is today Friday?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch, today is Friday.
What's the date?
The gift of the week is Pocket Protege number 22.
22.
Yes, sir. And the
Protege 22. And for you that's just first time listening, we have a gift of all of the teachings 7 days at a time, Sunday through Saturday. And you can listen to it on a little MP3 player. And each of these are called Pocket Proteges. And you're just learning through something in your pocket, your hand. It's smaller than an iPad or an iPhone, I should say. It's easy to listen to. It's a fabulous gift of appreciation for anyone who's helping us on our TV outreach or our ministry feeding the children. We feed thousands of children. And if you can sow $100 or more into our ministry this week, ask for a Pocket Protege. What's 22?
Yes, sir. And the date on it,
What's the number on it?
1/25/20.
January 20th. 20.
Yes, sir.
1-25-20. That stands for the year, the month, the date. And the reason is so you'll know that number 20 would be tomorrow, Saturday night. And so everything that I've taught from Sunday through Saturday night, everything Pastor Anna has spoken is on that Pocket Protege.
Yes.
We even have some incredible testimonies. Miss Viviana's teaching, our attorney, her teaching is on one of these. Miss Nina's incredible testimony about the debt-free home is on one of these. And so I don't have a brochure printed. If Miss Renee is listening, if Renee could make you a little brochure, her or Miss DeShale, and make a little brochure of showing each of these Pocket Proteges and the numbers on them. Some of them have up 20, 25, 30 hours of teaching. Incredible teaching. It's I don't know of any other ministry in the world that does this, but it's very current. And we'll probably on the brochure, if they could name each topic that we address, that helps them be able to choose which one, because there are some that didn't know that we had offered this last week. But you need to ask for it by two ways: the Pocket Protege number and the date, because that's helping us. And why we're doing this is because we're so far behind on our books out.
Yes.
By the way, I've got a stack of about 15 new titles that the world's never heard of. They just came in last night. They are out of this world.
Oh, wow.
And Dr. Deborah and Flo have been putting this together. And I don't know if Flo can even, I don't think she can call in on this line. But I don't have them handy, but they're really something. but these Pocket Protege or MP3 players
Yes, sir.
that I think could be Dr. Samuel, I love you, son. You are a pleasant man who knows how to love people. Dr. Samuel, is he still in town?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
Praise God. I hope he gets to greater. I don't know if he's going to be in town Sunday, but if he is, I hope he gets to share 10 or 15 minutes
Yes.
about his world, his life. He's really a good man of God. He shows me love and has for so much. Pastor Sonia is listening and walking with our son on our love walk. Now, I love that phrase, the love walk.
Yes.
I love that. Sonia, I'm going to use that phrase for walking. I was calling mine my praise walk, my prayer walk, but I like love walk better. I love his words. So while I walk on my treadmill, I'll just call that my love walk.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank y'all for, I love y'all's messages you're sending. This means a lot to me.
Yes.
Well, I've had I've had a rewarding time here, Pastor Hannah, on teaching us getting along with people. And tomorrow we may share a little more of this.
Yay.
Today is Friday, so tomorrow's Saturday.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
say, I would say, Dr. Diana Brown, thank you for those words. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I want to tell you something, Dr. Diana. I want to say this to you. When I was 18 years old, I sat in the back at a new class by Helen Davis, and it was called Personal. Oh, how to win personal soul winning. The whole class was about personal soul winning when I was in Bible school. And I wrote down in a notebook that my number one desire, my greatest goal in life was to be, and you just read it because Diana, you just used the word, Dr. Diana just used the word that I'm a communicator.
Yes.
And it just triggered something that I remembered. I wrote down at 18 years old that I wanted to be the most effective Christian communicator in my generation.
Wow.
I wasn't sure that I would always be a preacher because I had a desire for understanding law and becoming a lawyer too. But I wrote that down, and I didn't make the decision to go fully into ministry. Let me just give a little biographical thing here about my life there. Started preaching when I was 8, publicly when I was 8, preaching for my father. When I was 15, started traveling and doing 3-month meetings during the summer. But I had really had a real passion to become a lawyer. I had several seasons of my life. One, when I wanted to be a professional basketball player like Bob Cousy. He was my idol of the Boston Celtics basketball team. Had another season when I wanted to be a boxer. Those were the days of Floyd Patterson, Ingram Johansson, and Sugar Ray. All those. Those. I really loved boxing. It was real big to me, and I fixed a boxing ring outside my backyard when I was a teenager and go up and down asking everybody to come fight me out. And I loved. Everyone was a little scared because I got into martial arts, and I would come home and teach them ways you could kill somebody in 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 7 seconds. And never got afraid, hoping I would stay close to God. But I had those different. And then when I was 17 and 18, I would go sit in the law courts, A, B, C, and D of Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I would sit there because I have such admiration of lawyers, still do. And so I thought about that. I got every book from Tulane Law University. I'd stack them up. I wanted to understand. I guess when I was 16, 17, 18, I ordered all the congressional records. I don't know if they still do this, but they had a system where anybody that wanted to read every word that every congressman ever said, every month they'd send out a monthly called the Congressional Record. And you could read every word that every congressman said about anything on any subject. And I mean, Deborah would tell you there were stacks and stacks and stacks in my house. I would read. I wanted to understand law, and that was big to me. And I went through that season. But under what was his name? Somebody's name. I don't remember now. But anyway, he preached on. He preached on about giving everything you had to the ministry, selling out to God. And I cried from noon in Southwestern Assembly. I cried from noon to 5 o'clock in the afternoon until my Africa. We had prayer time. It's on a Wednesday. And then I had an African prayer group that I attended. And I cried from 12. I didn't go to lunch till 5 o'clock. And I told God he could have all of me. I'm trying to think there's a phrase that he preached, but I gave my whole life to God. He told him I would preach. I would go where he wanted me to go. I would do what he wanted me to do. And that I would preach the gospel. I said it for every yes to preach the gospel. Before that, though, was in the back seat. Wasn't sure I was going to be a preacher, evangelist, didn't know. But I wrote the words, I wanted to be an effective Christian communicator in my generation.
Wow.
That was when I was 18 years old. Isn't that something?
Oh, yes, sir.
And I just thought I'd throw this in because Deborah and the Flo were putting my life books together. They're putting about a 10-volume section together for special partners on my whole life, everything in my whole life. It's a biography of 10 volumes so that someone could know my life story. So they're putting that together. So I just thought I'd throw that in there in case that got in there.
I love that, Dr. Murdoch. I did not know that story. I'm so thankful you shared it tonight.
Let me pray the harvest for those that are sowing into our ministry. I live by the seed. Love is a seed. Time is a seed. Words are seeds. I consider the law of seed to be the law of the universe. It's the law of the seed. God gave you something, and let me just say this to some of our partners. There will never be a day in your life that you have nothing. Something in your hand will create something in your future. If you keep what's in your hand, that is your harvest. If you sow it, it's your seed.
Yes.
A seed is something God gave you to create something else he promised you. Jesus was the seed of God for the church. Everything in your life is a seed. Words are seeds. A smile is a seed. Seed means beginning. Seed means beginning.
Yes.
I am a preacher who believes you have great influence over your own finances through partnering with the Lord.
Yes.
I really mean, it doesn't have to be Mike Murdoch, but partnering with God.
Yes.
There's a lot more preachers beside me. A lot of great ministries beside ours. But I want you to get this clear. I lived a lifetime not knowing how to focus a seed for a specific harvest. It didn't register with me in 1 Kings 17 when Elijah told the widow of Zarephath, you have one meal left. Picture a whole season of food. Now give me that seed. Let me have that meal, and you will never lack for food the rest of the famine. He is the first person in the scriptures that I understood, but it was Oral Roberts who brought me the real revelation while he was driving me through Tulsa. And I asked him what was the greatest secret of his whole lifetime of ministry. He said, Brother Mike, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that before. He said, sowing a seed for a desired result. That was his phraseology. Sowing a seed for a desired result. Money seems to be the greatest seed because it's all of you. It took your highest thoughts to generate money. It took all your friendships to generate money. It took the best hours of your whole life to generate money. It took your health to generate money. So when you bring an offering to God of money, it's the best of you. It's the essence of you. It's the essence of you. It's a picture of the best you have on the earth. Money's huge. Money's big. Money's bigger to God than it is to you. If you think money's important to you, wait till you talk to God. God knew that money had such power on the earth that he warned us about making it our God. He warned it had such power. Money has such power. Men have killed for money. Men have left their wives for money. Men have done horrible things for money. Money has a rulership. And so God said, I want to cure that in you. And I'd like for you to take 10% of everything that you make on the earth in my world, bring it back to me as a show of honor, as a show of gratitude. And if you do that, he said, I will open the windows of heaven and I will pour you out a blessing you don't have room enough to receive. I will bless you beyond your wildest dreams. He said, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. Get into a money relationship with God. Don't try to substitute hand clapping. Don't try to do that.
Wow.
Really do business with God.
Yes.
Really do business with God. Please get involved with God's kingdom. Please get involved. I tell everybody when I die, I want to die with zero in the bank. I want to stand before God saying, I spent it all. I used it all up.
I love that.
Staff used to get so mad at me. I'd come back from meetings and they say, where's the offering? I said, oh, I gave it back to the pastor. Oh, I gave it back to the pastor. Oh, I gave it back to the pastor. As a preacher came through us some months ago and he received a very special love offering from me. And I had to give half of it, all of it back to him. I just had to bless his ministry because he had shown me such honor. And he was stunned and shocked, and my whole staff was. But I said, you know, everything I have came from God.
Yes.
I don't have anything God did not give me. I signed the back of royalty checks to Oral Roberts Ministry, and I wouldn't take their royalty money from all the 37 songs that they recorded of mine. But I wanted to sow. I wanted to sow. Soil is really important. Where you sow is important. But sowing for a desired result. Somebody needs to hear this.
Yes.
Knoxville, Tennessee. A lady came up to me and said, my ex-husband has not paid me child support for 15 years. 15 or 16. 15 years, I think. I said, put his name on a seat. She said, I did. In 14 days, she got her first royalty check from him for $65,000. Another lady walked up. Her husband had not gone to church with her 20 years of marriage. 14 days, she put his name on a check. Now, some people would sneer and call that buying a miracle. Well, that's kind of ludicrous, of course.
Yes.
But the fact is, you can sow a seed.
Yes.
You sow a seed.
Yes.
You sow a seed of love for your children, and love grows. You sow a seed of time. You sow excellence on your job, and you get a promotion. Sow whatever God has given to you,
Yes.
but sow with expectation. I admit we sure need your help. I won't deny that. I won't deny that. We've got a huge ministry that reaches out to 200 nations. I've got TV bills. I've got thousands of children we're trying to feed. We've underwritten a preacher in Pakistan. I guess for over 20 years, I've underwritten the ministry in India, building the 3-4-story, what do they call it, dormitory for the 42 preachers sleeping under the trees. I paid the teachers for years and years. I could go down the list. You know my ministry in Mexico. There are 19 years. We've been feeding, 8 or 9 child care centers and all the kind of.
11.
We're feeding 11. A lot of people don't know. I don't talk about all our outreaches probably enough. But what I'm interested in is your harvest.
Yes.
Your harvest. Get your harvest. Get harvest minded. And when you sow a seed, get a picture of the harvest. Get a picture. Paul put it this way in 2 Corinthians 9:6. If you sow bountifully, you reap bountifully. Oh, write down Lord Pharaoh. Never got a hold of him or a call. But 3 times the Lord told me to give up everything I had, every penny of cash, empty my savings account 3 times. 3 times. I was reminded this week, I was talking to a close friend of mine a couple of days ago, Rod Parsley. And I've been friends for over 30 years. And Rod's one of the greatest humans I've ever met in my lifetime. He has been a friend beyond friends. But we were talking on the phone. And Rod pastors, I don't guess you've met Rod, have you?
No, Dr. Murdoch.
Okay, he's got a beautiful wife, Joni, son and daughter. He's just a fabulous man of God. Fabulous man of God. By the way, he told me that it took his mother several months after her. She had a triple bypass surgery too. And it took her, I think he said 6 months before she was even herself.
Wow.
6 months he's walked through the fire. I think lung cancer, everything you could name, he's fought. And so we were talking. But I got to tell them, this is for somebody. Because there's an $8,500 seed that someone's supposed to sow. I don't know who it is. I wished I did, but I don't. But I had saved up about $364,000 from my royalty. I didn't know what to do with my royalty checks. I gave all my money away for months. I gave, let's see, I bought my manager and his wife, my secretary, I bought them a beautiful swimming pool for their home. I gave away all my money. I wasn't used to having any, so once I bought my kitchen table and my chairs, I just gave away everything I had. But I finally thought anyway, I ended up trying to save some money, and I got $364,000. If I recall, that's about the amount. Could be off a few dollars. And the Lord spoke to me one day and said, every step towards self-sufficiency is a step away from me. And I gave it all up for 55,000. I got down to 55,000. I got scared to death. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if I get, what if I have no money? I can't. And I had 55,000 left, and I was absolutely too scared to panic. I just couldn't give it back. I just couldn't let go of it. And the Lord spoke again to me. He said, every step towards self-sufficiency is a step away from me. Is a step away from me.
I love that, Dr. Murdoch.
And I gave it. And an $8,500 check came in for royalty, and I was ecstatic. I said, oh, God's making up for it. Hallelujah. Went to preach for Rod Parsley on a Sunday night. And the Lord spoke to me that night to receive an offering for him and Joni to have a new house. And the Lord said, how would you like to explore and experiment what I could do with your $8,500? And I showed it that night. Now, mind you, the week before, 2 weeks before, I'd given away every penny I had, $364,000. I did not have a penny in my savings account, not a cent. And I gave the whole $8,500. A week later, I couldn't hardly talk. If I recall correctly, I don't think I talked 7 sentences, 7 paragraphs to people for a week. I was in a state of emotional shock that I suddenly went from 364 to 0 in my money. 3 times that's happened. And I spoke to the Lord and I said, this is my prayer. I said, I gave that 8,500 because I felt like you wanted me to. I felt like you wanted me to. If I missed your will, I'm so sorry. And the Lord spoke one sentence back to me. Anything you do in an attempt to obey me will not go unrewarded.
Yes.
And I said, I hope so. 6 weeks later, I was up from a 5:30 prayer time. It was 7:15. I was at the Hyatt Regency Hotel preaching for Dusty Kemp, Bread of Life church pastor. He was picking me up at 9 o'clock, 9:30 to go speak to some pastors in Houston. 7:15. God gives me a picture of an idea. I called a friend of mine. He said, that will sell in the stores.
Wow.
He said, I will pay you a percentage every 90 days if you'll let me have your idea. I gave it to him. His first customer was Walmart. His second customer was Kmart. His third customer was a place called Hallmark Cards.
Wow.
And every 90 days I started getting checks.
Wow.
Up to 46,000. One of my checks, I bought a beautiful Rolls Royce with one check. Another check, I built a gymnasium in my home. It now has 3 beautiful apartments. And my gymnasium and some of the Celtics for the basketballs. You know, Bill, some of those Celtics have been here playing on my basketball court. So why am I saying this to you? That seed, I did not know what the seed would produce, but I knew obedience produces God's favor.
Yes.
I feel so strong. There's an $8,500 seed tonight.
Yes.
Somebody God has spoken to the sow.
Yes.
It may be a faith promise that God wants you to make it in the next 90 days or something. You'll sow the 8,500.
Wow.
But there's a lot of power to it. A friend of mine in Brazil sowed the 8,500. And when I laid hands on, God said, tell him I'm going to give up a jet like I gave you. And God gave me a beautiful Gulfstream holding 18, 19 people. Flew me all over Brazil, flew me back to Dallas here from Rio de Janeiro from an $8,500 seed. My 13th millionaire from New York came to my wisdom center. And he had made a faith promise. He said it took him 1 year to pay the 8,500. At the end, I think there was 9 gas wells that had been covered over, stopped, and they opened up and gave him a fortune. He said, today I have no idea how much money I'm worth, but he said it came from an $8,500 seed.
Wow.
I could tell you testimony after testimony on the $8,500 seed. It's mind blowing.
Yes.
Still a real anointing today for that. There's an $8,500 seed, and I just want to pray a brief prayer. Maybe a faith promise. Maybe you're going to sow it the next 90 days or next year. But there's power in this seed. It may be $85 a month for, 10 months or 20? I don't know, whatever the 500 is. But I want to pray with it. Father,
Yes.
you just stirred my heart about the $8,500 seed. And for some reason tonight, I feel very stirred. I ask you to let the same anointing that came to me, and I planted many $8,500 seeds since that day because I saw power to it. And it's not because it's 8,500, it's because it's obedience. I ask you that somebody listening to me tonight will sow an $8,500 seed to help us feed the children. Still on television. Every penny will go for your gospel. I ask you to give to them 3 things that you gave to me. 1, you gave me an idea worth a fortune. You gave me a lifetime income from it. I made money, more money than I ever thought I'd dream I'd make from one idea. Number two, you opened up opportunities and doors, and you linked me with some of the greatest humans on the earth. You created relationships. You created relationships. You created relationships with the greatest humans that ever walked the earth, are my personal friends. You gave them, Father, you gave them a love and a favor toward me. I ask you to do that on this $8,500 seed. And number three, I ask you to surprise them. Give them something bigger than they ever dreamed. You gave me 3 jets. You gave me a Rolls Royce. You gave all that to me. You gave that to me. You gave that to me. I never received a single penny offered from a single human to buy jets or a Rolls Royce. But your sheep know your voice. There is somebody listening. There may be more than one, but there's a person right now. There's a person right now, listen to me, that obedience to the $8,500 seed will open the very windows of heaven and surprises for them. When we open our hand, you open your windows. The seed that leaves our hand never leaves our life. It leaves our hand and goes into our future. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Somebody is hearing from God right now. Somebody told me that $708 a month, maybe a few cents, $708 a month comes out to $8,500 in a year.
Wow.
Just $703. Ain't that something?
Yes.
I don't know what God's going to tell you. Pastor Anna, when I gave my $8,500, I went into shock when I got back to my hotel room. One of the young men of the church, Rod's church, brought me back to the hotel, and I was shocked. I could not believe what I had done. I had already cleared out everything I owned. The $8,500 came in with royalty checks, and I was thrilled. I thought God was paying me back, and then I felt like the Holy Spirit was giving me, and I felt like it was Him. I felt like it was Him. Do I feel like He'd have slapped me down if I didn't sow it? No, not really. But an instruction is an opportunity. An instruction is an invitation to credibility with God. An instruction is credit. It's an invitation to build in credibility with God.
Yes. Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch. I love that.
Oh, it has power. There's a real anointing on the $8,500 today. There's a real anointing. It's more than anybody knows. More than anybody knows. Oshiki papa parukosi piato. Barasaka tarabaka tobosoko traboko torobokoye. Vasaka traboko sotroboye. Father, we don't have anything you didn't give us.
Yes.
We don't have anything that you didn't give us.
Yes.
Lord, I look back at the $8,500 that Pastor Esther gave.
Yes.
And in less than 7 days, somebody put over $1.4 million pounds, in English pounds, in her bank account.
Yes.
You did that to prove who you are.
Yes, yes.
Honor it. Honor it.
Yes.
I don't know where the $8,500 is, but somebody's got it. Maybe put aside in a savings account. It may be money you put aside for retirement in your retirement fund. But when God touches it, it all changes.
Yes.
It all changes.
Yes.
Don't do it. You don't feel it. Don't do it unless God speaks. Don't do it. Don't do it. You do it as God directs you. You obey the voice of God.
Yes.
But if you feel the tugging in your spirit, God has a future for you.
Yes.
God has a future. Well, I know I've spoken way over time, but I'm grabbing these moments, Pastor Anna, because
Yes.
I don't know. I always don't know how many days, how many weeks I'll be with. I grab every moment I can if I've got the slightest energy to share this with you.
Yes.
And Flo and Deborah helping me. I'm concerned on our books. I'm so glad we're able to do the MP3 player, and everything I just said will be on that MP3 player, and everything that you teach and preach.
Yes.
And this getting along with people is powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yes, Dr. Murdoch.
Well, I asked the Lord to raise up 300 millionaires, where we have 49 so far. So
Yay.
that's the ones we've documented. That's the ones we've documented that came up to me personally and told me,
Yes.
because of your teaching, I'm a millionaire.
Mm.
And there may be many more around the world. Nothing real fancy about being a millionaire. That's when you don't have any money, you think a million's a lot of money, but once you become a millionaire, you see that's not. You'll want a house that costs $1 million. So I don't think being a millionaire is the end of the world. It's just a standard that the Lord put in my spirit one day in prayer, that God would raise up 300 under my ministry who would become millionaires as a testimony that God wants to do business with you.
Yes.
And I'll never forget 2 young lawyers picked me up in Miami. They're right now on a 21-day trip around the world. But 2 young lawyers picked me up at Miami Airport. Some said about 3 or 4 years ago. I guess 3 years ago. And they said, we heard you say you were at 36, I think it was. They said, they're 38 and 39, 37, 38. They said, we're 37, 38. And they told me their story. He had lost everything that he had, sleeping on a sofa. Put Anthony down, name Houston. Sleeping on a sofa, watching on TV. And God stirred him. And he got up and became a partner with God. This year is, I think their gross was 40 million. He called me a few days ago. And, but he and his wife both became millionaires through our teaching. He's quite a young man, a great young man. He's got several children. And he just called a few days ago and said, I'm on my way 21-day trip around the world and cruise. And, but he came to my mind. But he was sleeping on a sofa in an apartment. And he heard me on TV and believed.
Wow.
Success depends on whose voice you believe.
Yes.
All success depends on whose voice you believe.
Yes.
You say, well, I'm not into that prosperity. Well, that's okay too. That's okay. Someday when you get some doctor bills, you may get into it.
Yes.
Prosperity is really for givers. It's for people who love to bless people.
Yes.
You don't really have to prosper a lot to survive.
Yes.
But the more you love people, the more money you'll want. The more you want to help people. The more you want to help people, the more money that you want. The money is only important to people who love to give.
Yes.
It's all. It's all. You can get free meals from friends. You can get half price clothes. You don't have to drive a Cadillac to prosper or to live. The message of prosperity means having more than you need.
Yes.
Having more than enough. My definition of prosperity is having enough money to complete God's expectations of you.
I love that.
Having enough money to complete your assignment. Don't you like that definition?
I love that. That's my favorite, Dr. Murdoch.
Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference in people, environment, a future value. Wisdom is the ability to recognize difference. Honor is the willingness to reward somebody for their difference.
Yes.
For their difference.
Yes.
And understanding is knowing the value of somebody's difference. There's two people that will double their income in 12 months because of this teaching.
Wow.
There's 2 people. Father, as they listen to this MP3 player over and over,
Yes.
over and over, Father, Heather said she had already listened 10 times to that teaching. I asked in 5 years to let her have the greatest financial testimony. she's ever dreamed of in her life. There's a preacher listening to me that has two men considering blessing them. The men are watching their lives, they're watching their ministry, and they're thinking about sowing generously into their ministry. And I want those two preachers, you know who you are. You actually know who you are because you've asked the Lord to send somebody to help you in your ministry. You've actually asked the Lord to send somebody to help you in your ministry, and you need it financially. One of the preachers needs a person to work on your staff, but you don't have the cash flow for it. But they'd take a load off of you if you could hire them. I don't know if it's a secretary or a youth pastor, but there's a preacher listening to me right now that you really need to hire somebody else to help you in your ministry, but you don't have the cash flow. Father, take the seed they're about to sow now and use this seed as the authorization to bring them two seed sowers, two partners in their world, in their ministry. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
There's a grace. There's an anointing on this. You feel it?
Yes, sir.
There's an anointing on this.
Yes, sir.
There's an anointing on this. Any messages, special messages?
One moment, Dr. Murdoch. Miss Julie said this is brilliant. Thank you so very much, Dr. Murdoch. Mr. Brian said, I loved it. Dr. Diana Hudgens Brown says, you are so gracious and your heart is so big, dearest mentor. May God continue to richly bless you and TWC as you continue to love, give, and serve His mighty kingdom.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God.
Mr. Roger Hans says, if you could describe the message of prosperity in one sentence, what would that be, Dr. Murdoch?
Having enough money to complete the perfect will of God for your life.
Yay. Miss Janet Sampson says, this has been very helpful, Dr. Mike. Thank you so much.
Praise God. Praise God, family. I don't know how to phrase this, but I'd like for you to pray for. We've been praying it, Pastor Hannah.
Yes, sir.
But I really need a system to get the books out.
Yes.
I've got books stacking up, and Deborah's working with every day and night. And she and Flo are my Aaron and her holding up my hands. This is not for everybody. This is just for our love circle that really know me and been with me for years, maybe. A book has power. A book can stay where you can't stay. A book can go where you can't go. Pastors of the biggest churches in the world told me my book changed their whole ministry. A book is real big to me. Doesn't have to be a big book. I've got books 800 pages thick. I've got most of my books. I try to make them 48 pages to mail them easily to people. Let me talk from my heart for a second about my books. I know I try to build a legacy. I'm not legacy oriented. A lot of people are. I'm not. That's not my goal whatsoever. God forbid. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I don't sell books a lot. Most of you know that. I give away almost for nothing. And when I do charge something, it's like $5 shipping and handling if you want it or whatever. But I'm trying to get these books out because a book is life-changing. It can salvage a ministry. It can salvage a marriage. It can correct 1,000 problems in your 46 times in the Bible he tells us to write.
Yes.
Most of you know I begged you to write a book about the top 10 things that you want your family to remember. I'm begging all of you to write a book. You can do it for under $200 or $300 just for your family. But here's a situation I'm facing. I want to turn every teaching into a book. To do that, you have to have the light editing, which is just taking out the light things. Then you have to have, what's the word? Strong editing. There's another word for it. Heavy editing. I think that's the word Deborah uses. We've got several helping us. I'm real obsessed with getting these books into people's hands. Trying to get them finished. I think we've got 700 and something published. We have 1,800 copyrighted. I'm very aware that everybody doesn't read. Everybody doesn't want to read. But when you pray that God will give me a system where we can get these books out quickly. I don't have a system for that.
Yes.
I just don't have it. You said, well, you're supposed to be a man of wisdom. No, I'm a man pursuing wisdom. And if you have a bookstore, I will give you the best prices on earth to set up my books in your bookstore. If you got a church and you have a bookstore, I'd love you to have a wisdom corner and Mike Murdock books. But I've given away and sold over 23 million. I really need an answer to this.
Yes.
I really do. And it's not because it's a Mike Murdock book. That's ridiculous. But I know the things I'm teaching bring radical changes in people's lives. Radical changes. Radical changes.
Yes, Dr. Murdock.
These little books, 48 pages, Wisdom Keys of Mike Murdock. These are just keys that God puts in my spirit. But they really are changing people's lives. They really are changing people's lives. And a book can go where we can't go. A book can be passed along. Pastor Sandals, listening from France, he told me how in the Congo they take my books and they break them in pieces because they don't have enough books in the Congo. And they hand them out in just pieces, pages at a time. Bishop David Oyedepo, over 3,000 of his pastors, proteges in his church in Lagos. I walked in there with Daddy and he held up my book, Dream Seeds, and says, this is the book that changed my ministry. Pastor Bioden, Fada Yimbo, one of the greatest humans I've ever known, possibly one of the top 5 givers on the earth. A fabulous man of God, Pastor Bioden, Biodun, Fado Yimbo, and his wife, Modell. They have several children. He has a huge work called COZA, C-O-Z-A, in Abuja, Nigeria. Absolutely world-class human. He has fought battles like nobody has fought. Satan's trying to destroy him in every conceivable way. He's got churches. He's got thousands of people in his ministry. Every time I speak for him, he holds up my book, Dream Seeds, and said, this explains my entire ministry. This book right here explains why I have the ministry I have. That's a book.
Yes.
That's a book. A book can do it. I'm just asking you to pray. That's all I know to do. Just pray that God would give us a system.
Yes.
God would give us a system
Yes.
for getting these books to the finish line.
Yes.
Get them into bookstores. Get them into distributors.
Yes.
I have thousands of books sitting on shelves right now waiting to be mailed out. I have hundreds of transcripts. I have people working every single day to learn how to do light transcription. I'm on Flow to do a video to teach them how, because my words, I don't want my words changed. I just want small little references to be corrected. But I just feel led tonight to tell you to please pray. Just please pray for me, that God will show me. If you have any ideas, email me, Dr. Mike, and Pastor Anna
Yes.
will tell you how to do that.
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
I beg, and I beg everybody, please write your book. You know, Miss Viviana Cavada, our attorney, has most incredible testimonies you've ever heard about her court cases. I beg her constantly, please put this in books. I'm begging all of you, please. You have, 60 books, Pastor Anna?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
60 books. And I don't know if you have a brochure on them. Do you have a brochure yet?
No, I do, but it's not updated, Dr. Murdoch. No, Dr. Murdoch.
I'm working on a Gabriella working on some of my anyway, just feel that I'm stirred tonight. I need help. Family, I really need help.
Yes.
I need help to get these books out.
Yes.
And they're real, they're rich. Like all the things that I've taught today.
Yes.
That needs to be in a book, and I wish we could do it every 7 days. Here's the book of the week. Now we go ahead and we make a book, but it's not really, usable to put around for the public reading. But it's valuable. And so when you just prayed and said, Lord, give Mike the system he needs.
Yes.
I need help. I need an answer to that prayer.
Yes.
And I feel the Lord's touching me physically. I go up and down, but I value every person who's remembering to pray for me,
Yes.
because Mike Murdoch needs a miracle.
Yes.
And so I value that from all my heart.
Yes.
Value your love.
Yes.
Value your caring.
Yes.
3 hours we've been together tonight. Can you believe that?
Yay! This has been a fabulous school conference, the best in the world.
I love you, Pastor, and I'll let you go. You can close it out for us. We'll watch you.
Yes, Dr. Murdoch, thank you. We love you very much. Family, before we close tonight, I would love for us to pray that Dr. Murdoch's desire for that prayer. And I believe in the power of agreement. I really do. Matthew 18:19 says that if you and me, if two agree on anything on this earth, God will do it for us. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, we agree on Dr. Murdoch's desire for a system to get all of his books to the finish line. Father, we need ideas. We need connections. Father, we need a system to simplify the process of getting books around the world. Father, I thank you, and right now I thank you for all the bookstores that would love to have Dr. Murdoch's books, for all the churches that would love to have Dr. Murdoch's books. There's so many institutions, so many companies that love Dr. Murdoch's books, and they are seeing the results because of everything that Dr. Murdoch talks about, success and business. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, connect us. Connect us. I know there's people around the world that would give anything to be able to make this happen. So, Father, connect us. Open our eyes to see that we will know where we can start and how this can start. But, Father, connect us. I just have that word in my heart. If you can just pray that God will connect us with the right people, with the right solutions, the right ideas, and the open doors. Father, help us to find the way to simplify the system, and that we can get these books to the finish line. And I thank you, Father. We declare that to be an answered prayer. We declare that to be an answered prayer for Dr. Murdoch and Dr. Deborah. We thank you, Father, and we agree with them in their desire to make this come to pass. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Well, family, I'm so thankful that you are here with us. And I hope that you'll go back and listen to this over and over. But the best thing would be for you to request your own Pocket Protege number 22. The date is on the screen, 1/25/20. And this Pocket Protege will include all of the teachings from Sunday till tomorrow, Saturday. Every single one. This is part 2 of getting along with others. Dr. Murdoch spoke earlier at 12 o'clock on this topic and then tonight. And it has been really a conference. I have never been to a conference that made it so easy to apply. And I really believe we're going to see results. Like Dr. Murdoch said, you will become a millionaire by listening to these teachings. So please request your Pocket Protege number 22 when you sow your seed of $100 or more. The information on how to sow, and I know that the Lord spoke to many of you regarding your $8,500 seed. Please email Dr. Murdoch. If you're sowing your $8,500 seed, after you sow, please send him an email. This is very important because Dr. Murdoch would like to speak to you, pray over your seed, but I know he has a word for you, specifically for you. So please email him if you can, drmike@thewisdomcenter.tv. And I know that as you email him, you want to send him a picture of your business or the dream home, the property that you're trying to sell. There's a harvest in property that some of you are looking for. And I believe that as you send those pictures, we will agree with your faith. Dr. Murdoch would pray over that. And us as a staff, we will do that as well. I just felt the need to share that with you. The 5 easy ways to sow are on the screen. Number 1, Cash App. Dr. Mike Murdoch is a personal Cash App. And then there is PayPal. If you are watching from around the world and you're saying, how can I send a seed to Dr. Murdoch personally or to the ministry? You have both PayPals on the screen. For the ministry, please use live@CBP. And for Dr. Murdoch personal, you can send it to Dr. Mike Murdoch 1. That's the PayPal for Dr. Murdoch personally. Those of you watching here in the United States, we also have the option of phone texting, which is a really, really quick way to sow. I've used this a few times. Even sowing a large seed, you can still do it through text, very quick. And you can type on the text box, my seed and the amount, to the number 28950. Or if you'd like to send it to Dr. Murdoch as a personal seed of honor, you can use DRMM and the amount to the number 28950. Those of you that would like to sow your seed through the phone by calling 844-789-SEED, 844-789-SEED, or you can also go to the website, thewisdomcenter.tv, button 8. And that's how you can sow your seed tonight. Well, family, this has been an incredible teaching. I hope that you'll be back with us tomorrow. We're live at 12 and we are live at 6 every day here on our Church by Phone, our international Church of Wisdom, our love circle around the world. I want to thank you for being a part of tonight. Don't forget one more time to order your Pocket Protege number 22. If you would like to become a new monthly partner, we have a gift of appreciation for you. That is the Wisdom Bible. The Wisdom Bible is my favorite. I believe that's the greatest treasure here in the ministry. I love it. I carry it with me everywhere I go. I love this Bible. And this is our gift of appreciation for those of you becoming new monthly partners. And I believe there is a very big difference between a sporadic seed or a consistent seed. Try it out for 12 months and see the difference. Dr. Murdoch has really taught us about the rhythm of seed sowing. and it's going to make a difference in your life. For those of you sowing a $200 seed, we will send you the Millionaire's Tablet. This tablet has all of the topics that Dr. Murdoch picked for you when it comes to your prosperity, your goals, and your dreams. For those of you sowing a $300 seed, we will send you the Millionaire's Bible, which is an incredible Bible that Dr. Murdoch put together, and many pastors have commented that this has been the best they've seen on finances. For those of you sowing your $500 seed, we have the Lifetime Library of Dr. Murdoch with 500 of his books already downloaded for you. And those of you sowing a $1,000 seed tonight, as we pray every week for God to send 12 people to sow a $1,000 seed, we have all of these gifts for you on the screen. The 2 tablets, the Millionaire's Bible, and the Financial Freedom Bible of Dr. Maurice Cerullo. Please take a picture of the information on the screen if you can, and I hope that you will decide to connect with us, email us, send us a letter, but be in touch. We want a relationship with you. Your precious family, please know that this time together is gold to us. And I hope that you can be back to be a part of these amazing teachings. As Dr. Murdoch already said, he might continue on this topic tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. We have a closing prayer for you before we go, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Love you much, family. Have a blessed night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Good night.